Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts for Kaiserreich as Ireland. Let's continue on. So the election's happening very, very soon. We have our election mechanics open now. How many people are in chat? 6? I mean, it's not a ton. I mean, it is almost 11 o'clock at night. But we'll do a quick poll. Who do we support? So we have Sinn Féin, Social Conservatives, or the Labour Party. We'll go, I don't know, 5 minutes? 10 minutes? It doesn't really matter too much. I'll just look it up afterwards. Okay, so we have a research slot here. What do I want? It is 30. It's basically 37. I think we can deal with improved machine tools. What if have we looked at our advisors yet? These all basically depend on who's in government. Which is actually like... Okay, no, not everybody does. These guys can have no matter what. Which I think we do actually like really need. Negative 33%. He's usually pretty good. Yeah, he'll save us points. He'll save us points in the long run. It's an investment right now. But afterwards, we will see. Okay, Spanish Civil War has now occurred. War in Spain. Spain has broken, and with its many, an Irishman's heart. Wait, Spain has broken, and with it, many an Irishman's heart. Okay. Irish men and women of every political persuasion remember well the good turns afforded to our ancestors by that nation, from which the ancestor of the Irish people, Mil Espien or Milsis, is said to have originated. Time and again, when Iberia bled, Hispania sought to allay her troubles. The most famous of these episodes was during the Ireland's 9 Years' War, when the Spanish assisted Hugh O'Neill and Hugh Roe O'Donnell's rebel confederation of Irish nobles against Elizabeth I of England with arms and the landing of Kinsale and County Cork. Sadly, Ireland's greatest opportunity to achieve its liberty would turn into one of its worst disasters, as the resulting siege and Battle of Kinsale would tragically end in a disastrous defeat, marking the end of the Gaelic civilization. In the 2 centuries following the aftermath, when much of the Gaelic aristocracy fled to the continental Europe, many were still in Spain, where the Irish, in accordance with their Mycenaean heritage, were legally treated as native Spaniards. The Irish integrated well, and many Spaniards of Irish descent would come to play notable parts in the military and politics in their new homeland, such as the renowned supporter of Isabel II, Prime Minister, and victor of the Battle of Taton, Leopoldo O'Donnell. In light of that history, the ferocious Spanish passion that grips so many of the Irish has not been dismissed. Do something, the ghost of Ireland's past wail, and the blood is thicker than water. Mainstream opinion favors the Kingdom of Spain as maintaining stability against far-right and far-left extremism. However, Antolis Nosata, given their fervent religiosity and connection to the party's extreme wing of the Lusitanian integralism, have expressed their support for the Carlist cause, while syndicalists and radical left-wing Republicans, of course, support the CNT-FAI. Can Ireland not but respond? So we get bonus attacks against everybody. This national spirit will be removed if we ever enter the war. Okay. Well, we can support... How many people can we send? We can send 1 unit. Well, I gotta make sure, more so than anything, we do not get encircled. I don't have that many men. I can't afford to lose this. Okay, how's the poll looking? Right now it's a tie between Sinn Féin and the Labour Party. See if we can maybe get somebody in chat to break the stalemate here. So what are you? Disavow, counter-campaigning. Okay, disavow. Labour will lose influence. Gain influence. Lose all your troops in Spain. I prefer, like, not to. Maybe I'm, like, going crazy here. The mustering of political tribes. The impending general election predictably has put Irish politics into overdrive. Sinn Féin is facing the most difficult election in history, in the face of disaffection from the public and the Ulster Democratic Party alike. Though the UDP's fears for the curtailment of Ulster privileges by another government may ensure the grudging continuation of their confidence in supply. The Labour Party and Cal Na Talham have formally committed to sharing the platform, with Labour focusing on urban electorate and CNET on the rural, capitalizing on much of the financial and social issues that have scourged the workers and small farmers of Ireland. A coalition between the parties in a growing chance That they can form a government is now a certainty, with Labour siphoning the support of disillusioned urbanites, though even with their combined forces, will likely still need a third party to bolster their limited numbers. The NDP or the PLP are likely candidates, but negotiations remain tentative. The National Democratic Party, or National Development Party, themselves being courted by An Sorstadt Kreistul, who bookmarkers are given extreme favorable odds to form a next government. However, there remains numerous political policy differences that would need to be compromised, and columnists claim that the varied politics and backgrounds of the parties might be too much to overcome. If WWII sees prospects elsewhere, the NDP have been approached by both the left and the right, but so far remained aloof, continuing their coup campaign separately. The meteoric rise in support for Antois Nostai outside of the heartland have meant that the party and their inseparable military wing, the National Guard, can no longer be considered a fringe participant in the election. While the party was once shunned as pariahs for their anti-democratic rhetoric and extremist tendencies, nothing can be considered off the table, according to Delvera, who shares a mutual personal loathing of Collins with O'Duffy. Whether any of this will come to pass remains to be seen. We're still on a tie. So we'll see. We'll give it... How many more days do I have on this? I mean, I don't have the political power anyway, so... We'll see how this goes. Because you don't... Does it actually say, like, who's likely to win? Current likely winner is currently the Conservatives, which is very funny because nobody in my chat has voted for them at all. Okay, let's do... Okay, right now we're 3-2 for the Labour Party. So we're probably looking for... We're probably looking at a Conservative win. Maybe we have to disavow them a little bit. We'll see how that goes. The economy question. As like almost all elections around the world, the main focus on the various parties' campaigns and manifestos are centered on the economy. From politician to economist to even Paddy from the pub, everyone has their views on how Ireland might be delivered from its current financial quagmire. Sinn Féin have sought to appeal to businessmen and large farmers, pledging to bail out struggling businesses and industries, maintaining free trade and cooperation with Middle Europa, and expanding the international export market for Irish agricultural products via trade deals. The SC have made their advocacy for protectionism a prominent part of their electoral rallying, with the goal of ensuring Irish self-sufficiency by promoting the development of Irish businesses and manufacturing through protecting them from the influx of foreign competition and lower-priced goods. They've also promised further land reform and guaranteeing of wheat prices to increase the tillage of land and break from the current orientation of Irish agriculture around pasture farming for the European market. The Labour Party has announced the other party's suggestions of upcoming cutbacks, and striking the poor and unemployed the harshest, and warned that the SC's protectionist policies will allow Irish manufacturers to use their privileged status to charge higher prices. Taking a populist route, Labour has promised to prioritize the needs of the common people of Ireland, campaigning on the construction of homes, allocation of poor of low-paid tenants, relief work schemes for the provision of cheap loans to manufacturers to encourage production of low-cost goods on the Irish markets. Okay, let's take one more look. Can I end the poll now? I can report my own poll. We'll not do that. So let's go with the Labour Party here, because that's what's currently winning in my chat. Okay, 2 texts we want to go. We want to go for you, and you get our industry up a little bit more. Okay, current likely winner right now is Labour. Should Labour Party win, they will need to form a government with the Social Liberals, and may need to either bring in the Market Liberals or the Radical Socialists. We'll probably go for an upset election. I am upset. We'll probably go for, if the Labour wins here, we'll probably go for the Market Liberals. The matter of leadership. While the initial fallout of Black Monday grew more distant, the shockwaves from what it seems to only be increasing in intensity. Newspapers from both the left and the right conceded Collins' handling of the crisis and the pro-German business model that has led the country to its current situation, and their fury has begun seeping into the highest offices. Collins' authoritarianism and dependency on Germany has had its dissenters among the party, but they previously remained silent out of fear of challenging their seemingly indomitable leader. Now that the big fellow's reputation is no longer the sacred cow that it once seemed, these voices are no longer silent. As the election looms, few want to be tied with the sinking ship that Collins' government has become. In back rooms and corridors, members of Sinn Féin began to plan for the future of the big fellow. Things had come to a head in the meeting of certain members of the party. They hinted to him that perhaps he may wish to consider his position for the certain concerned individuals force an unfavorable outcome. The thinly veiled nature of these statements was obvious to Collins. They are demanding he resign, or that he'll try to boot him out. He didn't know who they envisioned to replace him, but he suspected Molchi being absent from the meeting had been no coincidence. He was a fox backed into a corner, possibly more so than any time he was the most possibly more so than at any time when he was the most wanted man in the United Kingdom. He could still fight back though. He still had all the power of the arrangement and could fire a warning shot into his cabinet that breaking ranks in times such as these would not be tolerated. There are still plenty of those who believe in him, to whom his mythos as the man who had won their freedom still mattered. And they supported him if he showed that he was not going to give in, and he was going to keep fighting. If he could show that he still had his momentum, that he knew those still on the fence would support him, in the interest of the party stabilizing if nothing else. He had to make a decision now, though. Would he step aside and preserve the reputation he had left, or would he make one last gamble? Really, the votes came back tied once again. Okay. You know what, Colin's going to stand his ground. Okay, what do we got? Decision available. Because we can do like 1 point into Sinn Fein. You know what? Let's do that as well. If we got this tied up 50-50, then I will simply support both parties. I'm an equal opportunist supporter here. Give us a future. In spite of all those that doubted him, Collins has seen off the threat to his leadership, managing to neuter the internal opposition and forcing senior party members, including Molchi, to publicly commit to supporting him in the first election. Molchi's claims that he was chosen only as a unifying figurehead by party members, and that he himself never doubted Collins' leadership, came off as genuine. But regardless, the question of his replacement was settled for now at least. In spite of this, Collins has had little time to rest on his laurels. The sentiment has been convinced his colleagues to try to unseat him was even more fervent among the public. And knowing that Collins would still be leading Sinn Fein into the election, will likely make the grievances of many irreconcilable. It's late, okay? The reality was that the party stood a good chance of losing this election, regardless of who was in charge. Collins had faced tight spots before, however, during both the war and to the constant struggle that was governance. He knew the work would have to be expected for him to win this election, and he fancied himself as the man capable of getting it done. Okay, 30 political power. What do you want to spend this on? Let's disavow the Conservatives. 30 points on this. So I'm not going for this path. If you completely bungled Black Monday, so Conservatives would reform the government with the... Okay. Interesting. The Northern question. Well, last time we took a Labour, so this time we'll take a Sinn Fein. Naturally, in light of recent altercations originating from loyalist demands for Ulster's privatization during the crisis, the topic of Ulster privileges and the treatment of Northern Catholics has once again become a key issue during the debate during the election period. Sinn Fein, dependent on the confidence supply arrangement with the Ulster Democratic Party to achieve a majority in the Dáil, has denied rumors of Catholics being fired in greater numbers and continue to defend the Ulster privileges as the only solution for creating peace in the Isle. The FC have promised once more to abolish the Irish Ulster privileges and put an end to anti-Catholic discrimination, attempting to regain ground lost to Naiuta among Northern Catholics due to the hesitation of Cathal Brugha's government in the late 1920s to repeal the privileges in the midst of the Great Depression. And as for their opinions on ensuring long-term peace in Ulster, senior STDDs mooted a move towards a federal Ireland as a possible solution for the current situation. The Labour Party, reflecting a long-time position taken by the Ulster Labour movement, has insisted on that Catholic Protestant workers have more in common with each other than with their bosses, and must forego their sectarian differences to instead unite in opposition to class exploitation. However, Labour has pointed out that the status quo enshrined by the Ulster privileges is clearly failing to work, and that discrimination against Catholic employees by Protestant employers must be brought to an end. Okay, so what else do we have in this? So, loyalist anger will decrease, gives us more political power. Nationalist discontent will go down. Picking this option a third time. Okay, well, we'll just do peace in Ulster. That seems fine. It'll get the loyalists to be a little bit less mad. Because you gotta remember, the loyalists are not loyal to Dublin. The loyalists are loyal to the idea of Britain. Oh, our volunteers too, right? We got these guys. You've already lost Madrid. What the hell? Okay, let's move you guys here. Why do I ever try to support the Kingdom of Spain? It literally never works out. Ever. Okay, give me another negative 15% consumer goods on this. How is this looking, by the way? Okay, 2020. It's fine. 2020 ain't bad. You are a French division. How did you guys go, by the way? Radsock, Cyniclist still. Okay, nothing too crazy. Germany is autocrat. Okay. Nothing like super surprising. The Middle Europa question. A quick question debate raging throughout the build-up of the election has been Ireland's continued membership of the Central European Economic Union, better known as Middle Europa. Initially popular after Irish entry in 1930, saw the end of the Great Depression effect and return to economic crisis of the Emerald Isle in the form of Black Monday has caused many to begin to rethink their views. Sinn Féin has remained steadfast in the party's decision to join, pointing at the benefits of European trade for the Irish economy, and warning that without it, the Irish economy would become a plaything of the British syndicalists, with all the ominous consequences implied. NSC has questioned the necessity of Irish membership of the bloc, according to the votes of sympathetic anti-Middle Europa campaigners who have scattered the streets of Irish cities with hordes of propaganda leaflets, branded with old slogan of from the Easter Rising, neither king nor Kaiser. An SC party leader, Eamon de Valera, one of the few commandants to survive the Rising, has argued the martyrs of 1916 did not die so the Irish business and goods could be outcompeted by German ones. Labour has remained cautious on the Middle Europa question, taking the opportunity to accuse Sinn Féin of caring foremost about German interests, and yet at the same time accusing ASC of recklessness. Should they be elected, they claim that they'll work within the framework of Middle Europa to put an economic interest of Irish workers first, and unpeg the Irish punch from the German mark, asserting Irish sovereignty without risking further destabilization. Okay, so it really wants us to... Germany gets 5 points on this. We lose 25 political power. Whatever. Well, it says that actually we didn't lose anything. Let's go. Should I be? I guess I should choose one. Let's go with the arms industry. We love guns here in Ireland. So you have 39 days until the election is set to occur. How are you guys doing, by the way? Let's give you a little bit more support where we can. You know, I say that. I'm going to recall my volunteers, because here's my thinking. The King of Spain is already dead. They never win. So we got to wait for them to die and then send forces to the Carlist. So that we can maybe have the Carlists win against CNT. They join the Entente, but that's fine. The religion question. The Irish people are, as a whole, staunchly religious, with the Catholic Church holding a major influence as a result of centuries of British opposition or oppression of the Catholic faith. As such, the issue of separation of religion and state is a heated one. Sinn Féin, under Colin's tenure, has pushed for a policy of pluralism, promoting a somewhat secular philosophy designed not to alienate Ireland's Presbyterian and Church of England or Church of Ireland population and other minorities. In line with the party's German influence, Collins has used an example of the relationship between Catholic and Protestant in Germany as a model for the Irish nation to follow. The SC has long tried to stand out for most Christian as the most Christian political party in the Irish Republic. A political position for the party in recent times has found itself in a tough competition in the form of radically right-wing Antois-Noista. Nonetheless, the support of the majority of the Catholic clergy remains for now behind SC, and the party CD has been made a point in their speeches to denounce Collins and Sinn Féin as anti-Catholic secularists who have betrayed Ireland's ancient faith by permitting influences such as contraception, dance halls, and divorce to corrupt the hearts and souls of the Irish people. The Labour Party has particularly vulnerable of accusations of harboring anti-Christian policies in light of their center-left alignment and their socialist origins, and has taken great measures to emphasize through speeches of their TDs and articles in their paper, their party newspaper, The Standard, the party's commitment to respect the Catholic social teachings and opposition to the godless ideology of syndicalism. As Labour sees it, their belief in the establishment of a just social order are perfectly in keeping with the teaching of Jesus Christ and the papal nacl of the Rerum Novarum. So we're going to be losing a lot of political power. Oh, actually, no, I see. Okay. We'll go with Sinn Fein here again. We are currently still looking at a Labour Party victory at the moment. Spain is always a mess. I don't know how to get Spain to ever do what I want them to do. They just suck. Okay, can I send volunteers to Spain? Yeah, okay, let's send them to the Carlists instead. Like, no offense to the Kingdom of Spain. I don't know what it is about. I don't know why they can never win. I don't know. I don't know. They can never do it. But I will say, at least right now, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.